Student Hamish Rogers commutes to university from his house in Sharrow. He's part of a growing number of Sheffielders choosing to travel by bike. Cycling has more than doubled in Sheffield in the last 15 years, a trend that's likely to rise. This is thanks partly to the increased number of schemes being launched by the local government and biking groups, as well as the continuing success of British cyclists at the Tour de France and Olympics. So you're cycling to uni today?
Certainly am.
And how long does that usually take you?
It's about 1.5 miles, so hopefully less than 10 minutes.
Do you mind if I join you on your cycle today?
Not at all.
So how do you find cycling in Sheffield?
I love cycling in Sheffield, it's dead good fun. Like, loads of big hills so you can go really fast.
And it doesn't put you off that cars are parked on the cycle lanes most of the day?
Not really, to be honest, mate. I don't really use the cycle lanes, I just usually cycle with the rest of the traffic. But I can see why, if you're an inexperienced cyclist or if you just use cycle lanes all the time, having to go into the rest of the road with the rest of the traffic could potentially be quite dangerous.
While this Sheffield road has a cycle lane, cars are only prevented from parking there during commuting hours. An example of how Sheffield's roads have to compromise between limited cycling and parking space. With around 20 cyclists being involved in serious accidents in Sheffield every year, including 2 deaths in the last 8 months, cyclists are questioning whether enough is being done to make biking safer in the city.
Space for cycling!
This is Space for Cycling. These Sheffield cyclists are taking part in a nationwide campaign which is trying to get councils to change the way that cities accommodate those on 2 wheels.
Today's turnout just shows how many people cycle already. They cycle in spite of the hills, in spite of the badly designed roads. So just think, if we had quality infrastructure that children could use, anyone could use, how many people would cycle. It would open it up to everyone.
Just a little bit more sort of a positive attitude towards cyclists, and we're not trying to annoy people, we're just trying to use the road as everyone else should.
I would like there to be more off-road bike paths that I can cycle safely with my children.
The national organisers want councils to look at what has been done in places like Oxford and North London, where there are wider cycle lanes, 20-mile-an-hour speed limits on smaller roads, and bollards preventing through traffic on quieter roads while allowing bikes to continue to use the street. But can Sheffield become a more cycle-friendly city with its narrow streets and steep hills?
As always, money is a problem. My experience has been that the number of things that people want to see done onto the highway, that's to give their children a safe crossing to school, or to tackle speed, or to repair the roads and footpaths. Wherever you look, demand outstrips supply. So my personal view is what we've got to try and do is shift resources into cycling schemes so that it gets more consistently over a period of time.
But are Sheffield's drivers ready to slow down and share more of the road?
I think it'll cause a lot of traffic and it'll slow down your time to try and get to places. So that's going to be a big problem for drivers themselves.
If you were to create some roads only for cyclists, that would be a slight advantage, but there are far fewer cyclists in Sheffield than many other cities because Sheffield is so hilly.
Sheffield's been long established, and you're trying to impose a limited number of people to take up a very limited road space makes it very awkward to sort of marry the two together.
Councillors are reviewing the campaign's proposals, but they'll have to find a way to keep cars and bikes moving in the city. Adam Page, Just News.